So let's start by just sitting quietly for a few moments. And the wonderful weather, which I think kept some people from coming.
That's true.
That's why I record this. But the blue sky can be a very wonderful pointer or reminder, pointing to the vastness and clarity of our own mind. And the blue sky reminds us that all the worries and the struggles in our life are impermanent, adventitious. They are not solid, not stable, like clouds coming and going. So allow yourself to relax into your own goodness, your own being exactly as it is right now. Just leaving everything be as it is. The sensation in your body, the thoughts, the sounds. Letting go of the struggle with the present moment and just giving space. And then, in a gentle way, you start to notice the stillness. Which is surrounding and underlying whatever your experience is right now. The connectedness without boundaries. And the thoughts, allow them to drift like clouds. just being here. In a container of unconditional friendliness. The more we trust and connect with this friendliness towards ourselves, more we can share that with the people around us, and more we can make this place, this center, a place of friendliness, of welcoming. And this friendliness is easy to discover by allowing yourself to be just like that. Particularly, of course, those aspects of you don't like. Painful feelings, insecurity, sadness. And then if you're gentle with yourself, if you're compassionate with yourself, you can be gentle with everyone in your life, particularly here in the center. So this morning I would like to share some aspects of two practices. And the first one is prostrations, and the second one is making offerings. Also, with the idea to start to set a kind of standard here in the center, which is what I'm going to say today is not the final thing, but that it is like kind of, that the people who help here, that we do the same, or at least similar, not the same, but similar. And I would like to start with two stories from the Lamrim. And the first one is a story, so of course it's a story happening in Tibet. And it's a story where there is a Buddha statue on the way, on a path, by the side of a path. So there's a lot of these kind of holy objects around in Tibet. So imagine a Buddha statue at the side of a small one, like big like this. And then it starts to rain. And a Tibetan, a simple man comes along and sees the Buddha statue in the rain and thinks, oh, the poor Buddha gets wet. So he takes off his shoe and put it like as a head on the Buddha. And it's very happy. The man is very happy. And he does it with a good, with a devotion and with a good motivation. And what happens when he does that, because he has a sincere mind, he creates good energy. So this is called merit. Yeah. So I will use the word merit now, but what I mean with that is like a spiritual good energy. Like it lifts your mind, it lifts your heart, it opens your heart. So that is called merit. So this man created merit, which lifts up his energy. So it could have been that his whole day was really impacted by that act of devotion. And in the Buddhist teachings, it goes even further. Like these acts which open our heart, which open our mind, they actually ripple forth, and there's no end to them. They are kind of, you set them into the universe, and they spread. So this man will benefit from that act until he becomes a Buddha. And so then he goes. And a few minutes later, another man comes, and he sees that, and he said, God, how disrespectful to put a dirty shoe on a Buddha. And he says, oh, I will remove that. And he does that with devotion. And so he removes the shoe, and the Buddha sits in the rain, and the man thinks, yeah, the Buddha enjoys the rain, it's like water offering. And so he creates merit because he's sincere, and he's happy that he has done something, and he rejoices in it, so he goes forth. And he creates a lot of merit, and this merit, they ripple into the universe, like ripples of merit, like water ripples. So it's the intention, it's the motivation. And there's no right or wrong way to do things. So there's with these traditional practices, there's different ways to do them. And sometimes when we learn one way, then we think this is the right way, and then we become something like what I call the Dharma police. Like, I know it, and then you watch what if other people also do it the same way. So as long as our motivation is good, and we are sincere, and we have some devotion, and we have some joy in doing what we're doing, we create positive energy. And then, of course, it's good to have an openness to the teachings, and when we learn then something from the tradition where we practice, and we think, and we have done it differently, then we think, okay, wow, yeah, I didn't know that. Let's do it like this. Let's try it like that. And the second story I want to tell is also from Tibet, and it's a story about a mother and her son. So, and the mother is a very devotional practitioner, and the son goes to a pilgrimage to Lhasa, which takes like 3 months walking. And the mother can't go because she has to take care of the house and of the children, but she really would like to go, but she can't because she has to take care of her family. So she
A connection with the sun with a mobile phone.
it's your it's your daughter.
Not a good married after.
It's a you can make it, you can see it as an offering. So then the mother says to the son, "No, son, if you go to Lhasa, bring me a relic of the Buddha." And the son says, "Yes, I will do this." So he does his pilgrimage. He goes to Lhasa. He comes back. And after 3 months he comes back, and as he approaches his house, he remembers, "Oh, I forgot to bring my mother a relic of the Buddha. Oh, what do I do?" And then on the wayside he sees a dead dog, and he breaks out one tooth from the dead dog, and he wraps it into a scarf. And then he comes home and says very happily to the mother, "Look, mother, I have this precious relic, and it's a tooth of a Buddha." Yeah, and the mother is so happy, and she puts it on the altar, and it becomes like the center of her practices. She makes prostrations, she makes offerings. Yeah, to the relic of the Buddha. So she creates a lot of joy in her life. Yeah, she's so happy with the practices and with the tooth of the Buddha. And then what happens is that there is like sometimes it's something miraculous, yeah. So we can't explain it. But what happens sometimes with object where a lot of people do this kind of practices around with a good heart, that they emit. They kind of there is like substances coming out of the object. Like it can be kind of ashes or some kind of so different substances come out of these objects. They are called riksel in Tibetan. It's a Tibetan word. So, and that happened, yeah. And it is supposed to come out only from, real relics, real, yeah. So, what are real precious objects? Yeah. Hi. So, this story is about the power of the mind, and that when we come to this place and when we do things here, when we make the offerings, when we make the tea, when we clean, when we do work for the website, whatever, the power of our mind, the power of our heart makes this a sacred place. It's not in the place, it's not in the statue, it's not in the books, it's in our mind and how we look at this place. So if people come here, and many people come here like that, they come here, it's like going to a coaching seminar or something like that. And that's not wrong, but that's what they get. Yeah. So when we come here with the sense that this is a sacred space, then it becomes a sacred space. It's not a sacred space from its own side. So both of these stories, they actually tell us about the power of the mind and the power of intention and the power of motivation. So, okay. So now I would like to talk about making prostrations.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
What is the prostration?
Yeah.
Anybody know in English? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's so far removed from this culture, you not even know the word.
It's called falling down, sliding. Sliding,
Sliding
falling
down.
down. Sliding down,
Yeah.
falling.
What is the word
It's
in
a
Danish?
Glidefald. Glide
Why
is to
is
slide
it?
and fall is to fall down.
And it's a word for bowing.
Bukke.
Yeah.
Not very good words. None of them are very good.
No?
Not really.
No, okay.
There's some nasty conclusions from that.
Oh, no. It's just about having the concept and knowing what it's about and not necessarily finding the word.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in our practice, we involve the body, the speech, and the mind. And the way we hold our body, the way what we express with our body, means a lot and can connect us with a lot. Maybe it can connect us with something even in a more deeper way, in a more felt way than just thinking about something. Yeah. So if we approach someone with nice words, but our body is not expressing it, then probably that person will rather pick up our body language than what we say. So it makes a difference. And prostration is one way to express our devotion, our respect, and it is alien to us. So we need to be careful with this and playing with it and not taking it too serious and not making a show out of it. So it's like a decent way to find our own way to do it, when to do it and how to do it. So when we prostrate, when we bow, we don't bow to a statue. So what we bow to is what the statue is symbolizing. And what the statue is symbolizing is your own goodness. So if you bow, what you do, you confirm your own goodness. You confirm your own innate freedom. You confirm your Buddha nature. So in a way you can say you bow to yourself. It's like you look at the mirror. So a statue or the Dalai Lama, the pictures, they are like a mirror. You look at it and you see, that's the reflection. It's a reflection of the goodness in me. What I see is an aspect of myself. Or what I see is who am I deeper than my stories and the trance of self-unworthiness. So it's also in the same way when we respond respectfully to another person. Yeah, we also confirm our own worth if we do that. If we treat another person disrespectfully, we treat ourselves disrespectfully. So these prostrations, I think we have to be, as I said, like kind of decent with them, because it can provoke people. Yeah, particularly here in Denmark. So like if we would do that just publicly, even in a center like this, it could be that it really puts people off. They think, like, if someone comes here the first time and and then I come into the room and people start to prostrate, then we lose people. They just immediately know, I'm not going there again. So we need to find a way where we incorporate this practice of bowing, but without provoking people or making them insecure or judgmental. So that's why on Tuesdays I don't prostrate, and also I think nobody else. No, I don't think so. So it's very, very casual. Yeah. So I just come in and I sit down. Yeah. And then on Thursdays I prostrate. I do 3 prostrations, and I will show you how to do it and what the meaning of it is. And then some time ago, a long time ago, I told people if they also want to prostrate, they can do it in the same time, either before I come into the room, before they sit down, or when I do it. Yeah. So what happens is that most of the people, they stay seated, but some, when I come in, they get up, and then they do the prostration in the same time. And I think that's a good way. And there's a sense that you don't need to do it, so people feel relaxed just sitting. And those people who feel like doing it and playing with it, they can do it together with me. Yeah. So if a visiting teacher comes, particularly if that teacher is ordained, a monk or a nun, I would recommend that when the monk or nun comes into the room, that everyone gets up. Yeah. And that will just happen naturally. So if some of you who are there, and if it's like 3 or 4 people, and you get up, then people will just do the same. And if they don't, it's fine. So it's not, we don't need to kind of yeah. It's just and if it does not happen in the first time, then during the weekend people will kind of get it, and they will get up. And then if the teacher sat down, if it's a master, hopefully like Lama Zopa Rinpoche will come in the future, then the people who feel connected with Lama Zopa and who would like to do it, they would do 3 prostrations once he has sat down. Yeah. So that's like the master sits down, and then you do 3 prostrations. But it is completely open. Yeah. But I think it's appropriate in an environment like that. And if it's a monk or nun, then if you like, you can just like fold your hands or like make a bow, like yeah, and then you sit down. Yeah.
So when they prostrate, if Lama Zopa is here, when he comes, he'll prostrate. We just stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
But we only do that with you, prostrate with you because
Yeah.
you've invited us to do that.
Yes. Yeah. It's a way to do it. So it's not only me doing it in this way. It's a way to do it that
Okay.
the students prostrate with the teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
But with all the ordained monks and nuns, we just wait and do it after.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I think if you really feel like making a prostration, then to a monk or nun, I think that's fine here in the center. So the monk or nun sits down, and everyone stands, and you either bow, or if you want, you can also do a prostration.
Yeah.
I think it depends a little bit. I mean, if Rubina comes, for example, there is no chance to do a prostration because it's packed, yeah. And then you don't need to. So it depends. It needs it depends on the group, and so I think it needs some adaptation to the situation.
I think it's a really nice point because I think about that often in terms of skillful action with my behavior.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people look just because I'm here fairly often.
Yeah. Yeah.
When is the right time to do something and not, or
Yeah. Yes.
in order to be as welcoming as possible
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
So
Yes, I have a sense that prostration to a teacher is not really the best thing to do here in this center.
Okay.
Except Lama Zopa or some other Rinpoches,
Yeah.
where you create a whole different setting and a different atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a way of showing respect, because if you say it's, when you do it, it's like you're paying respect to your own goodness.
Yeah.
So, but when you do it when other people are here, it's like paying respect.
So when you show it in the moment when the monk or nun comes in, you get up.
Yeah.
So, and then you can just bow like this, and then you can sit down. And then in the interaction with the teacher or with a monk or nun, it's more important. So what you connect with is this respectful attitude inside. So we don't need to worry so much how it shows, because it will show, and your body, your speech will find ways to express that. Yeah. And the respect towards a monk or nun could be initially based just on the fact of honoring the tradition of monks and nuns, this lineage of teachings, which this monk or nun is an expression of. So it's similar. The monk or nun is also a person, but he or she is also a symbolic. So even if you kind of feel the monk or nun, is not really, I mean, it's not, maybe you notice some, anger or whatever. So you can relate to the symbolic level, like a Buddha statue, and you can honor that. Yeah. And And then, of course, the respect grows, or the gratitude also, once you have received teachings and once you have studied with the teacher and you benefit from it. And then it's more genuine, then it becomes more genuine. That sense of gratitude, that sense of friendship, it's also a kind of friendship, a different kind of friendship. And then it will just show. Any more questions about this? I would like to keep it somewhat open, yeah. So I don't want to kind of tell people here. So that's the way we do it. Yeah. So of course we need some guidelines so that we are not completely confused. But also there should be still some ambiguity, like kind of, and I think it's
Flexibility, maybe.
flexibility, yeah, but also like a little like what's happening, what can I so
I think it's nice in that way because it leaves space for it to be genuine. Like, if I don't know exactly how to act with a specific teacher,
Yeah.
I really want to tune to them.
yes,
Like, and there's some teachers I've been more connected to, and then I can kind of see how it comes from that place you're talking about. And then other teachers that I couldn't connect with, it came from this kind of, like, oh, I should do this, and then it was totally awkward.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I just couldn't connect to them, and I didn't know how to act.
Yes.
But I do like that ambiguity in a way, because there's not an answer, and it's more about that
Yeah.
relationship and connection with
Yes.
the teacher.
Yeah. Yes, and what I notice, or my experience with the teachers who travel within the FPMT, they don't mind so much if there's prostrations, or so it's not for them. But some of them some of them don't like it if it's too artificial, like if it's too. Even some of quite a lot of the Tibetan teachers who travel in Europe, like Geshe Tashi from London, or other teachers, they want us to be genuine, and they don't want us to copy Tibetans. Yeah. So then the prostrations. So there is like just the way kind of you hold your hands, and the way is to like put the thumbs like inside, and so this is symbolizing like in the Shenresik Tanka over there, he's holding the hands at his heart, and he's holding a jewel, the jewel of wisdom, and so that's just I think I do that quite often at the end. Also Tuesdays I do that. It's like also a kind of greeting. And then there is the short prostrations, and then there is a full length prostration. And don't do this here. So it's a beautiful practice to do at home, and we also do it in the summer retreat. So then we do it together, and I give an explanation of it, and I sell it also as a yoga exercise so that people can do it as a yoga exercise. But we don't need to do it here. So there is the part I will get up and show you But there is a part where you touch your body with the folded hands in four places. Here on the crown chakra, at the at the forehead chakra, at the throat chakra, and at the heart chakra. Yeah? And it's good to have a sense really to touch here. It's like it is a yogic exercise of touching these spots, these energy spots in your body, like kind of giving them a little tap, like tapping. Yeah? You know tapping, this EFT or what is it? Yeah. So it's tapping. Yeah? And it's yeah. Maybe you can read about tapping, EFT, and the benefits of it. And maybe you really want to do prostrations. Yeah. And of course, these spots, they are these energy spots being described in Chinese medicine or in the tantric Hinduistic tradition. So, and these spots, they connect with body, speech, and mind. Yeah? The body is these two, speech and mind. And what you express with this gesture is that you would like, or that you are on the path of transforming your body, speech, and mind into the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha. So you say like, may I have or my vision is to have the body of a Buddha. My vision is to have the speech of the Buddha. My vision is to have the mind of a Buddha. Yeah. So you do like this, no? So like you touch here, you touch here, you touch the throat, and you touch the heart. Yeah? So the throat, I notice that I touch it with these two fingers, but you kind of
do that,
you can
end up here somewhere, huh?
yeah. So
But it's
that's
here,
that's good. Yeah, and then the heart.
And then just up here.
Yeah. So that's and then. Yeah.
That's comfortable.
And then you see people then doing it very quickly, and that's okay. But it's nice to do it with some mindfulness. So it's also a practice of mindfulness. Yeah? It's a mindfulness practice. Sometimes people say, "Oh, there's no mindfulness in the Tibetan tradition," but all these practices like water bowl offering and prostrations, they are mindfulness practices. Being mindful, is something else than being mindful of the breath, but it's mindfulness. So then you take, before you start the prostration, you take some time to connect with the earth, connect with standing, and then you connect with the presence of the enlightened mind in front of you, which is symbolized by a statue or which is symbolized by the teacher. So you take some moments to take that in, what you're prostrating to. And then if you do it as a daily practice, there's, for example, the practice of making the prostrations to the 35 Buddhas, you actually you also play with the visualization. But right now we're talking about this ritual of making 3 prostrations in the beginning of teachings. Also, if you would like, a good moment to do these prostrations is, when you come into the room, and if you prepare the room. So you don't need to do it if already 20 people are in here, but those people who are early and who come here, who open the place and who come in, And if they feel like that, they could do these 3 prostrations to the Buddha statue. Usually the tradition is also to do these 3 prostrations before you make the offerings. But I think since the water balls are mainly filled in the time when there's already other people around, so then maybe it's better not to do it and just do the water ball offerings. Yeah? But if you are kind of just with the volunteers here and some people then it's a good moment also just before you do the water ball offerings to do 3 prostrations as a preparation. So let's see if we can. Yeah.
I noticed you when you come in, you prostrate there.
Yeah.
You don't prostrate there.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I need to. Okay, so I need about 3 meters to the because it's that so what? Prostrations. Yeah. So yeah, it's. I used to sit there. When I was a monk. I used to sit there, and I used to sit on the throne we have, like a little throne. And I could still do that. Yeah, it's not because I'm the teacher, so I could sit as an expression of what I'm teaching. I could sit on the throne. It wouldn't be. But it felt better to kind of go down and also have another arrangement of more inviting into discussion rather than this kind of school thing. So that's why I prostrate to here, but also it's a practice for the teacher to prostrate into the direction of the place where he sits. Yeah, so as an antidote towards arrogance, and also as an expression of the connection and the gratitude towards one's own teacher. So you imagine your own teacher sitting there, and then you do the 3 prostrations. Yeah. So the short prostration is so you start with doing this, and you open to that energy, to the presence of the unconditional love and loving kindness, wisdom, and then so you do this touching 3 times, and then you go down on your knees and you touch the ground with the forehead. Yeah, and it's really worth to experiment or to feel into how that feels. Yeah, how it feels. And I will invite you to do it just when I'm finished, to just feel how it feels to touch the earth. And then you do that 3 times. Yeah. And one meaning of that 3 times is that you prostrate to Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. So it is also a practice of taking refuge, an expression of taking refuge. I like the translation of Alex Burson connected with taking refuge, and it's going into a safe direction. And prostration is a kind of it's a bodily expression of throwing yourself into a safe direction. Yeah? You throw yourself into the safe direction. So you do that 3 times. Yeah, I think this is not the 4th time, but so you do that 3 times, and then you finish with this, and then you stand, and then you sit down, or you do the offerings, and On Thursday I was talking about the commitments connected with taking refuge. And one of the commitments is that is to do this 3 prostrations every day to the Buddha Dharma Sangha as a part of your as a part of taking refuge. You know? So now being a volunteer in the center does not mean that you have to do this. I'm just saying it as a invitation. So this is very important. We are not here to make Buddhists, and we are not here to sell rituals or convince someone of anything. So it needs to be in a very friendly and relaxed way. You know? So that people who come here, they don't feel in any way that they have to do this, or that they are strange because they don't do it, or yeah. So, but on the other hand, I would like to give the opportunity for those people who want to do it to have some space for it. I mean, not on Tuesday evening, you know, in front of 50 people, but like these places on Thursdays, and when you are when you prepare the room and at home, so then you can play with that. So then the long prostration is the same. You start with these 3, and then you go down and you slide, and you stretch your whole body like this. So notice the feet, they stretch, yeah. And then you can do this movement, yeah, like go like this, and then you go up again. So, and there's different ways. So in different traditions, they do it slightly different. And you don't stay at the ground. So going down symbolizes, going towards people, going towards pain. It's like the Mahayana attitude, yeah. So you go down into the suffering, into the lives of people, and then you bring them up into freedom. With your compassion, you bring them up, and then you continue to go down, yeah? But you don't stay there, you bring them up. And what? Yeah?
So it's got 2 different meanings when you do the short one and the long one?
No, it has the meaning you give it.
Okay.
So you can, this meaning of getting up, getting down and bringing people up, that's one of the meanings. So there's even more, like there's different aspects of the path you can train with these prostrations, and different things you can include. Yeah. So one thing, for example, is one can imagine that your parents and your family and your friends and all other people are surrounding you, and you are like a kind of chant leader, and you do it together. So you can do the prostrations with like really focusing on others and doing it for others. Yeah. So that's also a possibility. Yeah.
I learned the prostration during the Vajrasattva short retreat before Christmas. So what I did was, what I'm doing now is like I'm connected with gratitude. Is that okay as well?
Yes, yes.
But I do it when I go down. Should I do it when I go up? Or?
No, I think that's fine. Okay. It's also about like feeling into the prostration and feeling what is expressed through this body gesture for you.
Okay.
What happens for you? You know, to be open to that. Yeah.
I'd like to share a little story because I first encountered this in Plum Village many years ago.
Yeah.
And there I've never seen or done anything like that. But every morning, all the nuns, and they just did it, and I thought, oh, what's this about? I said, well, you got to do it, and taking it as, oh, this is at least the morning exercise. But then we had some afternoons where we could kind of question. And I put out this question, what are you actually doing these mornings? What is this about? And there was this old woman, a Zen master, sitting there. She came from the Netherlands and was there for the same retreat as I was there. And she listened to these questions. Oh, we were all kind of, what's this about? And wow, when we touch all these things that we wanted explanations. And then she said, oh, don't ask, just do it. And it was such a gift to me because I experienced that it might be different energies that come when I prostrate.
Yes.
And I've done it since.
Yeah.
It's very helpful and it's really rich in my daily life.
Yes.
Doing it. And so many different layers of inner energy.
Yes.
But I like this old woman, very wise. No, don't go into the head. Go.
Yeah, yes, right.
Let the body tell you, as you
Yes,
said.
yes.
I think for me it started a little more formally, like I thought, oh, I try this because I should. And then it became meaningful. I don't know how. I was lucky, I guess, but it became, instead of me just dropping it because it was something that I was just trying because I thought I should or something. It actually, maybe because of the body connection, it became something, other things came up and started connecting with the motion. So I think it can become something either by just doing it or by being more like, I should at first, and then it becomes something meaningful. Maybe.
Yes, and for some people it helps to have some explanation. So that's how different we are. So for some people it's just fine to just do it. And sometimes I notice when people, when I open some meaning for people, that suddenly they, oh yeah, now it makes sense. So now I can do it. So it's different approaches.
Yes, and we got a lot of explanations from Thich Nhat Hanh.
Yeah, okay.
And they are different from the Tibetan tradition.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Yes,
and then you given the gift of, well, you can actually connect different resources here.
Yeah.
Ways of.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
It's very nice to be curious and to see. And they probably have a different way also to do it. Like it looks different.
They do like this. I mean, actually, they have their hands like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't matter really.
Yeah.
But this with the hands, my former teacher emphasized this when coming up.
Yeah.
Because it's in using the prostration for cultivating bodhicitta.
Yeah.
This desire to come down and be with people or be with.
Yeah.
For me, I use it a lot with myself, to be with myself. And then the dragging the hands, so going down kind of quickly into that, but not staying down, and like then coming up and dragging the hands, so it's like bringing that energy up or something.
Yeah.
So I use it a lot also in terms of cultivating this energy of bodhicitta, or of, my motivation for volunteering here.
Yeah.
Use it in that way.
It also has this aspect of the earth, connecting with the earth, and with the heart as a human being, and with the sky, like getting the, so you can maybe go like a little, the sky is the limit. Okay.
How many times a day do you do it?
It's you can. It makes sense to do it in the morning and in the evening before you go to bed. And then there's practices where you do it where you do 35 prostrations in the morning, or 106 or 108. Yeah, 108.
I have to think about like when we do asanas. It's you can do it in two different ways. One is by doing with mindfulness, and it's almost like meditating.
Yeah.
And it's the physical way. And
Yeah.
it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
But it's really a question of your mind.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and just how you do it, and it's really, really very different. And
Yeah.
I think this is, it reminds me very much of that.
Yeah.
It's a kind of,
Yes.
connects with something that is
Yeah. Yes.
really,
When we do it in the summer retreat in the morning, then to integrate it into the yoga program makes sense for many people.
yeah.
And then to explore, there's also another aspect in it, yeah, like more the spiritual aspect,
Yeah,
or
it's
yeah.
very strong.
So, yeah. So it's good to be curious and playful about these practices, and not to make it a should, but to play with it and to be open. And then if it's not helpful, then we don't need to do it.
Seems what. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your teacher. But it seems the usefulness of just doing it, because as you said, you're bowing to your own goodness.
Yeah.
That's a problem right now. So until you, I feel that's my challenge. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm basically in this life, to try and find that goodness, and it's not there yet.
Yeah.
So we can either fill it up with explanations and all the other stuff that just becomes more things that I've got to worry about, or just do it and then wait for the goodness to arrive. Because that's the challenge of all the spiritual practice we're going through, is to build up this goodness, or to see the goodness in what you're doing.
Yeah. So as an aid, one can imagine to prostrate to the goodness of the Dalai Lama, like to see the goodness in the Dalai Lama, or so to see the goodness as something which is outside, knowing in a way it's a kind of trick to help you to connect with it.
Yeah. Because the idea is to find it in yourself.
Yes, yes.
The idea, all of this practice is basically to find the goodness in oneself.
Yes.
So not the Dalai Lama, not the statue,
No,
and
no.
not the prostrations, and not the goodness in other people else. It's to finding the goodness in ourselves.
Yeah.
Why is this so difficult?
Yeah, that's.
I don't find it difficult to find a goodness in you. I think we have
Yeah, but
learned.
that's the point.
It's true. No. Why don't you see it? Okay, so let's do 3 short prostrations, and then we have a break.
The dog.
The dog, yeah. So we take some moments to just connect with our feet and with the standing, and how it feels to hold your hands. And we bring the presence of compassion, or presence of the enlightened mind, of freedom. So, and then in your own pace, you do the 3 prostrations. Just
One looks at the sanity.
Yes.
That was my place in the brain.
Yeah. Okay.
Skal vi tage den ned på torsdag? Marianne. Yeah, we need more dogs in the city. I bring the kids, you bring the dog.
So let's look into making offerings. And like the prostrations, making offerings is a practice of connecting with joy to the by rejoicing, and yeah, it is just something in us which becomes happy when we are generous. So, and making offerings is a way to train that and to use that energy. It is also a way to slide into the practice. So when you do, if you have a daily practice, a daily meditation practice, it helps to not just sit down, but to kind of do some preliminary practices. You know, the prostration is one, and the other is to make some offerings. And it is really a way, even if you don't meditate, if in the morning you light a candle, or you make a prostration to the Buddha, or you make an offering to the to your altar, it introduces you. It introduces the day in a different way, connecting with what is most important for you. So. To make offerings, first you need to have an altar, like we have one here, and it's nice to have one at home, and it's good to make it beautiful for you. So like you put statues, you put pictures, things which inspire you, which remind you of the teachings. And traditionally, an altar has a symbol of the Buddha, a symbol of the speech of the Buddha, of the mind of the Buddha, and of the body of the Buddha. And so the speech of the Buddha is the texts. You know, there is this text, so that's symbolizing the speech of the Buddha. The mind of the Buddha is symbolized by the by the stupa. You know, there is this stupa from glass with the relics, yeah. And we used to have another stupa there as well. And then
It's on his hand.
yeah, right. Yeah, actually, yes. Someone put it there. Yeah. I think it does not belong to the statue.
What is this?
The stupa is this. The stupa is symbolizing the mind of the Buddha. Yeah, so that's the stupa. it has a lot of meanings, you know, the steps and the shape and things like that. But I'm not going into that because I don't know much about it. That here, that's another shape. It's called the Kadampa stupa. So that's also stupa, different shape. Yeah. Maybe we can put it there.
Could it be like when I went to China and went to some temples and outside they have this huge one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's Buddha in Nepal,
Yeah.
which is like, I mean, it's huge. It's like a big monument. Yeah. Yes. Different sizes.
And it's the same shape, Buddha and stupa. If you look at
Yeah, they have this, the proportions
Yes.
of this, they are very, very special, and they speak to us in a, yeah, I think you're interested in this kind of stuff,
Yes.
right? In shapes and,
Yes.
and cosmology and,
Yes.
and principles and things like that. So these statues, they speak to that. I will talk on Thursday, not this week, but the week after. I will talk about some of the symbolic aspects of the Buddha statue. Yeah? So it's, of course, all that has some symbolic meaning, or everything in the statue. Yes. So and then we can make offerings. And
body, speech, and mind. We need the other one.
body is the
speech.
statue. The speech is the text, and the mind is the stupa.
Ah.
And then there is also Buddha Dharma Sangha. So the Dharma is, so that's another meaning. The Dharma is the text. The stupa is symbolizing Buddha, the Buddha, and the statue is symbolizing the Sangha. So it's these three objects are symbolizing either the body, speech, and mind of a Buddha, or Buddha, Dharma, Sangha.
How about the flowers?
Yeah, so they are offerings.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you make offerings, and it's good to make these offerings in the sense as if like the Dalai Lama is here. No? So imagine the Dalai Lama sits there, and you want to make him a nice place for him. So the first thing is, of course, you make it clean. So that's like the ground. Yeah? So it would be good if we cultivate a general attitude here in the center that we want to have things clean. Yeah? And it's in that cleaning, it's not like cleaning at home. This is a different kind of cleaning. So this is sacred cleaning. Yeah? So of course you can do sacred cleaning also at home. That would be wonderful. Yeah, but it's like while cleaning here, you clean your mind and you create a space where people come and can connect with purity, with their own purity. Yeah? And when we clean here, we don't do it to get it done. Yeah? So that's not the attitude. We don't do it to get it done, but we do it with mindfulness and with kindness, and it's like creating an atmosphere of care and some people. It's like if some people are here who love this place, who like this place, and who take care of this place, then it will shine. It's like you not only clean it, but you fill it with your energy. You fill it with your positive energy. So it makes a big difference. And it has been periods the last 3 years where there was not so much happening in that regard, and you could feel it. Not only it was more dirty, but it like a room starts to kind of die, yeah, if there's nobody taking care of it. And right now it's very good, yeah. So the clean, and then so imagine you have the Dalai Lama sitting here. So then the way you put the offerings, you do it, I don't know, I say in a respectful way. I'm not sure what I mean actually with it, but certainly you would put the flowers in a different way if you imagine the Dalai Lama is sitting there. You're not throwing them there or like, but you do it like, oh, here, His Holiness, Tenzin Gyatso. It's like, yeah. And you take care that it looks nice. You're not going to go to the cheapest supermarket and stuff some flowers into the vase and then just throw it on the altar. Yeah. So there is a different care, and of course, then depending on your taste and depending on what you like, it will look differently with each person. But it's important what attitude is behind. Yeah. So there is the flowers, and you can also offer food. Yeah, so you sometimes you notice there's some chocolate there, or some biscuits, or some fruits. Yeah, so that's that can be offered.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Because are there kind of I mean, when different specific things are happening, that you do specific things about fruit or biscuits or whatever, or is it that I, for instance, I could buy some biscuits and I could, when I come in, I could just offer them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not kind of reserved to...
No, you can do that all the time. It's not so much a tradition here, but in other centers, it's what people do when they come to teachings, or then they put some offerings there. But then one does it particular when you do the medicine Buddha puja, or some rituals. Then it would be a good moment to make these kind of offerings. It's not so much. They don't do it so much here, but it is a possibility. Yeah. Yes.
So if you do it at home, how often do you replace them? Can you buy a chocolate and then leave it for?
Yeah, you can leave it for some time. Yeah,
okay.
So with the water ball offerings and the candles, you do every day. You do a fresh offering. Yeah, so I will show you the water balls. Yeah, but the flowers you can leave them, and the food you can leave for some days. And then, if you remove the offerings, then it's good not to throw them like into the garbage, like in a normal way. Here we have to throw them into the garbage, but a possibility, for example, is with the flowers that you make an extra bag, like you put them into an extra bag, not with the other garbage, and then you bring it down, and in the end it will end up in the normal garbage. But if this would be like a country center, then we could put them into the compost, yeah, or you could put them in a clean place in the forest or something like that. Yeah? But we don't have that option here. But it's good to have a sense, this is not just the normal garbage, but to put it into an extra bag and then bring it down. And with the food, with the food is what we can do here is after a few days, and I do that sometimes because people don't know what to do, so they just leave it. So I'm usually the one removing it. So then I put it to the offerings to the people. Yeah. So it's good if you have at home. You do some food offering, that you give it to others then after. Yeah.
Okay. Just don't eat it yourself.
Yeah, I mean then then if you put it there for everyone, then you participate. But there's a sense of you shared with others.
I'm thinking about, there's something in me that I have, questions about this.
Yeah.
Not with the offering as such, but I would think it was much more logical to give it to somebody who needs it.
Yeah, yeah.
And to give it, it's fine, all this respect is very important.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it wasn't for some people who was in need for it, if you left something in a place, where there are poor people and things like that, isn't it really for them? I mean, you're offering to the Buddha.
Yes.
But what does that mean?
Yes, you're offering to the Buddha as a practice of. It's a mind practice.
Yes.
So it's not like a practical practice of helping others. So that's why it's important that also the generosity towards people who are in need is part of our practice. Yeah.
So if I would give it, not put it here, but give it to people in need for it, what would be the differences?
Are you talking about offerings being made here and then
like
taking them and?
Food? No. Instead of putting food on the altar, I would give somebody who needs it.
Yes, I would think I would like that more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a bit of. I think it's very important to respect this and put in flowers and water and everything. But food is something that somebody needs.
Okay. Yes. So it's good. Then you honor that sense. For me, putting some chocolate there, it has more a symbolic meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I put flowers or chocolate,
it doesn't matter what it is.
For me, it's not such a difference. And of course, with this now we get into, then when we discuss this further, then we get into this, there's a lot of money being spent.
Yes.
And it's not very inspiring sometimes to see that. And I'm rather critical of that. And it is something also. I've heard His Holiness the Dalai Lama criticizing that in the monasteries there's some rituals where there's a lot of offerings being made, like to the Buddha statues and gold to the statues and things like that, and it's not appropriate sometimes.
Maybe outside there are people in need.
Yes.
And I to clear my mind about the offering, like I imagine it's like also for your mind training generosity, that it's like a practice.
Yeah.
Is that also?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes, it is supposed to loosen this. Also, with a water ball, it's like you train to let go. It's like you train the giving.
Yeah. So it will be easier to give those who are in need.
Yes, right. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's it is a practice of training, training giving. Yeah. Yeah, I think in this center it is more appropriate to keep the altar. It's quite elaborate to keep it quite simple. Yeah, so it's now there's a lot of stuff there already, but it's a possibility to keep the altar quite simple.
What is the other statue?
That's Tara. It's a female, the female manifestation of the enlightened mind. Yeah. So like now we have only this space, but in the future, when we have a bit bigger center, then it could be maybe a little bit more simple and more space. And also with these tankas, there's a possibility to just put them into normal frames, yeah, so that it does not see. I mean the pictures, just the picture, the image, just the image to put it into a normal frame. So then there is not this kind of like strange sense when you come to this room, you know, like
distracts from the element in the.
Yeah, and it makes sense in Tibet because they have the vastness of the country and the emptiness of the country, and so when they stuff their temples, it makes sense. But for us, we have so stuffed lives and stuffed worlds. If we go to a place like this, it's, I think, more conducive for our practice if it's clean and simple and not too much. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm not saying to change it, but it's like for the future, that could be like a way to have the same things, but maybe to have more space around and to have another place for the Tara and not so cramped and heavy and full.
The thing that's underneath the altar, does it matter what it is?
No.
Okay.
What holds it?
Yes.
No, it just needs like that. It looks nice, that people that you like to look at it, and it's clean, and then it's practical if there's some space under, so to put the things which you need, like the candles and the cloth and things like that. Yeah.
When we've had some events here or like a bigger medicine Buddha practice, sometimes we set a table in front
Yeah.
and everyone brings food.
Yeah.
And then we just eat it afterwards.
Yeah, that's okay. It's like then you share it
Yeah,
with everyone.
yeah.
Yes.
And they did that also at Jamyang. People who came for the practices, one brought an omelet, other people brought all different foods, but they offered it first. It was kind of like before eating at home, just offering the food first and then like still eat it.
Yes. Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if does it have to sit there a certain amount of time, or can we just?
No.
Is it more like a symbolic? We offer this first.
Yeah. That is a possibility. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like yeah. And there is the practice of the Guru Puja, where there is part of it is actually that everyone gets a plate with food and you eat within the ritual. Within the ritual, you eat and drink. We have to work up to that, to the group. I have not managed yet to get a group of people together who would like to really learn or get familiar with this Guru Puja. Yeah. So then there is the water ball offerings, and so with the water ball offerings you have 8 offerings. I will show you how to do it. I just want to say a few words about what these water balls, what they mean. So it's 8 offerings. So we have 7 balls, and the light is extra. So light could be also a ball, but it is light. Yeah. So that makes the 8 offerings.
Why 8?
We have 8 offerings.
Yes.
Yeah.
What well, what does that number
Yeah, yes,
symbolize?
now, yes, I'm coming to it. So these 8 offerings, they represent 8 customs which you find in India when a person enters a household, when you receive a guest. So there's a certain custom, and you make offerings to that guest. And each of these 8 offerings, they symbolize one of these offerings you give to a guest. So the first water ball is representing water to drink. The second water ball is washing water. It's washing the feet of the person. The third water ball is flowers. So you put like a garland of flowers around the neck of the person. Yeah, flowers. The fourth offering is incense. So you make a nice smile. You purify the room where you bring the person to with incense. The fifth offering is light. Yeah. So and here the light is the candle. Yeah. The sixth offering is perfumed water. So once the person is seated, you give him like you used to get it in the planes, some thing to clean yourself. So it's kind of some anointment. Anointing. Yeah. No, it's like some fresh like perfume. And then there is music. So you play some music. No, food. First comes food. So after you give him some refreshment, perfume, you get food, and then the last water ball is music. Yeah? So these are the 8 offerings. And so you can, while you do it, you can still imagine like that His Holiness is sitting there, and you. So let's imagine His Holiness is here, and you bring him a cup of tea, yeah. So you're not getting the most dirty cup from the kitchen, which is broken, and and so you would try to. I don't know, even if the Queen would come, yeah. No, you would put her in a nice place, and you would most Danish people would, yeah. and you would make a nice tea, and you would also probably buy some maybe a nice teapot or something like that. So I think it's a good way to make yourself acting in the appropriate way. By just imagine, I give this. Now the Dalai Lama is there. So then you don't need to remember all the other stuff. It's just like, yeah, how would I behave? For example, I would try to avoid to spill. Yeah, if I give His Holiness the Dalai Lama a cup of tea, I would avoid to spill the tea. Yeah. So things like that. Also, I would act in my body would be in a different way. I would act I would not cough right there, or just in the moment when I give the tea. Yeah. So things like that. So then there is another meaning, and there's. Now this is an introduction, yeah. So, so it will. There's more you can pick up from different teachers and then different. So there's another meaning of these water balls, and that is that the water, what the meaning of the offerings. So the water, in the first 2 balls, is symbolizing our study. Yeah. So you offer your studies, yeah? You share your studies what you learn. And the flowers, the third water ball, is the knowledge which comes from these studies. So you offer that, you share your knowledge. Yeah? So like the flowers, they grow from the water. Yeah? So the flowers grow from the water. The knowledge grows from your study. And the incense is symbolizing ethical conduct. Yeah? They talk about the scent of morality. Like they say, if people who are integer,
That's a good word. No.
integrity, who have integrity, people who have integrity, they have a certain smell. And this is not maybe a smell you can smell with your nose, but it's like a flavor. It's a scent around people who have integrity. Yeah, like it's an energy they have. Yeah. So and the incense is symbolizing that. So it's called the scent of morality. Yeah? And it is actually, they say, monks who have a high ethical standard, that they smell, I mean that they have a nice scent that you can, yeah. And it's quite amazing if you are around people like Lama Zopa Rinpoche, they have a beautiful scent. I don't know, it's amazing.
I also heard that from yoga that swamis, island swamis, they smell like basmati or
yeah.
I think that the voice, the smell, everything is part of your what do you call aura. Or,
Yes.
So you can also people also have a nice voice, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's the incense, and then the light is symbolizing insight, is wisdom. So you share your wisdom, and then the perfumed water is symbolizing faith or conviction. Yeah. So based on your studies and based on your insights, and within the container of ethical conduct, you develop a firmness, a conviction, a faith. Yeah? So, and that's is symbolized by the perfumed water, and the food offering is connected with absorbed concentration. Yeah? So they talk about the food of concentration, like it's nourishing. Yeah. So concentration. Being stable, to have a stable mind, is nourishing. It's like a nourishment, a fulfillment you find inside when your mind is stable. And then the last is the music, and that is teaching, like sharing your teaching. And that does not mean necessary to sit here in a place like this, but to share on the level where you share with your friends, with your family, where you help each other. So that's the last one. So that's another meaning of those 4 offerings. So you actually, by making these offerings, you offer your own practice, your study, your insights, your ethical conduct, and your sharing of the teachings. That's what you offer. Okay. So let's do it. So I will show you. again, there's different ways to do it. So you need something like this. Best thing, it's clean and looks nice. And you need the water balls. And there is the possibility, but I don't think we should do it here, and that is to cover your mouth with a scarf. Yeah, so with a cutter, there is this white scarf. So that is, you see that so that is symbolizing that you don't want to contaminate the offerings and the altar with sneezing and coughing, and so sometimes people they do this with a scarf. But I imagine, like, you know, if you do it and there's people arriving here, and you have like, that would be too strange, yeah. So some people would disagree with this, yeah. But I think it looks too strange. I'm just telling you so that you know that is a possibility, and you can maybe like imagine it or something like that. You know, it's part of that. And then usually what happens here is that after people empty the bowls, they also dry them, and so the bowls are clean. But one way would be, before you do this, to just take each of them and just wipe them out, yeah. And with that, you imagine this water ball is symbolizing your mind, and purifying it is like cleaning your mind, yeah. And then, again, that's something we don't do here because some people are allergic towards incense. But if you light incense at home because you like it, a possibility is to put this ball over the incense and let the incense kind of purify the ball. Yeah, so that's a possibility, but we don't do it here. Yeah.
Do you leave the balls on the altar all the time?
Yeah, like this.
Okay.
So one kind of rule is never to put an empty ball onto the altar. Yeah, so that is like giving His Holiness, oh, here you have a tea, and it's an empty cup. Yeah, so it's seen as not so polite to do this. So that's why when they empty, they are always put upside down. Yeah.
And on the edge of the table,
No.
so there's a part sticking out, or that's
No,
just
that's
random?
That's random. It could be that the person who's emptied them didn't dry them, but just put it like this because then it dries.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah?
Could be.
Could be. Yeah.
Also because it's a very good feeling.
To put it like this?
Yes.
Okay.
And you don't close it off.
Okay. Yeah. So that's up to you.
There was
That
a
shows your mind.
the teachings where one of the nuns did that, where she could where took the incense, and then because the bowls were on the other side of you could just run the incense down the bowl.
Okay, like this.
And then you fill them up with you chase all the spirits away.
Yeah.
That's why she left them like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because then you could just put the incense as you offer it. Like
Yes.
that. I don't know if that's different teachers do different things.
Yeah, I guess then so
Then it makes
you receive teachings, and then you kind of develop your own style, you know? And then you hear something else, and then you develop your own style, to do it. So, and then we have the water, and I will show you one way. So you start on this side, and it's the drinking water, washing water, and so on. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And they usually stand in one row. Yeah. And this is here,
And it's much better.
like this, and then it would be one row, but there's not space enough.
So there's 5 on the one side and 3 on the other, huh? Always like that.
No, 4 here, and then comes the light, and then 3.
But what happens if you can't put it all in a row? Then you'd split it up. Doesn't matter if there's 3 on one side and 4 on the other.
No, that does not matter.
Okay, that's
But
as long as it's
since
in
the light is here, so this is not the light of the offering, it's something extra. So you can also always put extra light, you know, like. So there's light. There's a light within these 8 offerings, and then there's extra light also.
Okay.
So since the light here is in the middle, then we need to have 4 here and 3 there, because the light is on the 5th place.
Right.
The offering. Okay. So then, the first thing you do is you fill a little bit into the bowl and you put it there. So you put it nicely, and the reason why you put a little bit is because you are not supposed to put an empty bowl onto the altar. So you put it nicely. Of course, if you have some time in between, it's nice to clean the bowls, you know, with so that there's not the kalk there. So if you have an extra 50 minutes, then it's important that it is clean. So you do that. It might be nice to clean your hands before you do this.
And you do the prostrations first?
That is a possibility. Yeah. So before you start the thing, then you do 3 prostrations. Yeah. So now you fill the water balls. You put the water balls not too close and not too far away. And it says the length of a grain of rice. Yeah. So if you put it too far away, it symbolizes the distance. You create a distance to your teacher. Yeah. If you put it too close, it symbolizes to be too close to the teacher and find all the faults. Yeah. So it's good to be close to one's teacher, but not too close, because then, if you are too close, conflicts arises, and you get judgmental about the teachers, and you find all the faults and things like this. So it's good to be not too close and not too far. Yeah? So that's symbolizing this. And then you pour the water, and I mean, you don't need to remember all that what I said. It's just, you know, make it meaningful to you. Huh? So maybe you can you imagine, like, you offer the clarity of your mind, yeah, to the Buddha, or you imagine nectar, or, you know, so something like that. If you can't remember all the different offerings and the meanings. Yeah? So this kind of practices, they also grow while you go along. Maybe in the beginning you just do it, and then you kind of slowly you fill it with meaning. Mm-hmm. So when you fill the water balls, you're supposed to say one mantra, and that mantra is Om Ahum. Om Ahum. Yeah. So Om Ahum is like a condensation of all mantras. It's like the root of all mantras. And it is the Om is connected with the body. The A is connected with the speech, and the Hum is connected with the mind. Body, speech, and mind. And it's a blessing. Yeah, so it's a blessing which is, with the Om you purify, with the A you transform into blissful nectar, and with the home you multiply. So you purify the water into something pure, you transform it into nectar, and you multiply it with the home. Yeah? It's not only one cup; it's an ocean of bliss, yeah? Which you offer to the. And the bliss is the bliss of your own nervous system. Yeah? So that's what you offer. So there's different meanings. I mean, there's a book just on Om, like a whole book. And the R is actually, they say, if you condense all the teachings of the Buddha into one syllable, you come to the R. Yeah? So there's like all the teachings, which is many texts, that's for the stupid people. And then there is like a condensation, like the Heart Sutra, that's for the bright people. And then there is a condensation of the Heart Sutra, it's the R. This is for the nerds, yeah? For the Buddhist nerds. So for them, if they would hear, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, they got everything.
It's a negation.
Yes. It's the emptiness teaching, yeah. Yeah. So it's a negation, yeah.
No teaching.
Yeah. So Om Ahom. Yeah? So and then you fill the cup without spilling, and you say Om Ahom, Om Ahom, Om Ahom. You can say it a few times. And you try not to make a lot of noise, and like to develop a graceful way to do it, like nice way. I mean, I'm sure the waiters to the queen, they learn how to pour, I'm sure there's like a tradition of pouring tea, like so. In the beginning a little bit, and then there's the middle part where it's a little stronger, and then you kind of trickle off or something like that.
But do you say Om Ahom in your mind, or do you say it out loud?
You can say it without anyone hearing it. You can make the movement with your mouth, or you can also silently say it. And if you're alone, you can say it loudly. So you are supposed to fill the bowls not until the end, like that it spills, but also full, yeah. And there again, so they use the rice corn again. So you have to see. It's maybe a little bit full, but so not too full and not too empty. And then you go through the whole thing. And before you do that, you can already light the candle, or you can do it after. So and then we have 8 offerings: 4 here, the light, and the 3 water drops. And then one can do many rows of those if you want. Yeah, like for the medicine Buddha puja, for example, it's good to have 8 rows, so that you have one offering row for each of the 8 medicine Buddhas. And then we had also a row here, but it didn't work because people were spilling it and things like this. So it's possible to have, like, if we would have a bigger place, then we could have an extra altar for Tara, for example, and make a row of offering in front of her, or so depending on what people want. Yeah, and then there is a mantra, a multiplying mantra you can say after. I'm not going to teach this, but it's a possibility. And
which one is that?
It's a quite long mantra.
Okay.
Right now I don't have it. It's called a multiplying mantra.
It's just called multiple.
Yeah, it's so before you do the offerings, as within all practices, it's good to connect with a good intention. Like, I'm doing this to cultivate a positive energy so that I can share this with other people. So to connect with some altruistic intention, some the bodhicitta, the mind of bodhicitta. And then in the end, if you like, you can, because you have created positive energy by doing this, you can make a wish, like you can share that positive energy. You can just share it to all the people who will come to the teachings here, and you can share it with someone who is in trouble right now and where you worry, or you also share it with yourself, wishing yourself well.
He used to have a white cloth.
Yeah, that's a
It doesn't matter?
No, that's a possibility. It would be good to change this at one point because it's getting dirty. But this one is super heavy, so you can't remove it. So we have to live with this for now. And
But I think they called it something special. Guess that they want.
Kata.
Kata.
It's a kata.
Yeah.
That's what you can offer to a master also. It's a Tibetan custom to offer these katas. They symbolize the purity of your mind.
That's what when you give a donation also, you wrap it in a kata?
Yes,
Yeah.
I will teach that to people when a master will come, so that some of you know how to offer a kata and how to do that.
And that's always white.
The kata is white, or there's also some yellow around, and some katas have some patterns on it.
Okay. But so the color of this cloth, it doesn't matter. It could be any cloth.
Yeah. It is supposed to look nice and be clean.
What about the chocolate and cookie offerings? Like, can you place them in their original wrapping, or is it better if they're in some bowl or glass?
I think it's nicer to leave them in the original, unless you distribute them after. Like if it's a medicine Buddha puja, then you could open it and put it in nice bowls and arrange it in a nice way. But if you leave it here and you make an offering and it's not being used, maybe for a few days, I think it's nicer to keep it in the package, because otherwise you have to throw it away after. So, and that would be a pity. So then you leave it in the package, and then it can be eaten after. But if people do like a longer ritual where you actually distribute the offerings during the ritual, they usually open everything and put it into nice plates and arrange it nicely, and so that it looks beautiful. Yeah.
Venerable Paula, when she was here, she recommended that we pull the bottom furniture out and push the Buddha back.
Yeah.
So we could have the bowls in front. I wasn't sure about that though, because then the back of the Buddha isn't really supported. I don't know what is better to do, but she thought that this arrangement is not ideal because the bowls should be in front of the Buddha.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask Stefan before
it's a
I don't know.
possibility to do that. I'm not sure how it looks like.
Yeah.
But, if it's not, it's already over the edge.
Is it? Okay.
So if you push it like, I mean, you need at least like 15 centimeters. I think it would be a little bit too much.
Okay.
it would then it would be. I think it would look strange.
Okay.
There would be also the sense that the Buddha could fall.
Yeah.
So we just tip it backwards. And that'd be good.
I think for now it's an okay solution.
Okay.
And then in our new place we need to have something else anyway, something
Okay.
bigger.
And then when volunteers want to bring flowers and cakes and food offerings,
Yeah.
Could we share the food at the break, or should we share the food the next week?
Yeah, they can make the offerings here, and then in the break you take them down and you distribute it. What is good is to avoid like that. You buy a nice chocolate like the one you like. That's good. That you buy the chocolate you like and not some crap chocolate. But then you put it there, and it's actually just a different way to eat it yourself.
Okay, yeah.
So you buy the best chocolate, the best chocolate, and then but then you share it with others, and then you can have your own share. But yeah, so you can do that. Yeah.
Perhaps those offerings should wait until the week afterwards, because if somebody comes in here that hasn't been part of this group, you put it down there, and then 15 minutes later somebody goes, "Hey, great!" and then puts it over there.
Yeah.
It could kind of be misunderstood. So maybe leave it until the week afterwards.
Yeah, I usually wait a few days before I put it. If someone puts something here, then I leave it a few days, and then one Tuesday or one Thursday I just put it out.
But if I bring a cake, for example,
yeah, then
I guess that's
okay. If you bring a fresh cake, then it's a possibility to put it here, to offer it, and then take it off in the break and offer it to everyone.
okay. Because otherwise, I got some food today, but I didn't offer it first. I mean, I offered it before people got here, but I didn't put it on the altar.
Yeah.
Is that also?
Yeah,
really-
of course you can. I mean, there's the books there, so you can also make an offering there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so with an attitude of making an offering.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it would be something else than just putting some food there for people.
Yeah.
So you would make an offering, and you would bless it with Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum. So this mantra you can also use in daily life. So when you eat something, you can even when you enter a place, you can bless that place. Yeah. You can bless the clothes you put on. Yeah?
Just mumbling
Om Ahum, Om Ahum, Om Ahum.
All day long.
Yeah? All day long, yeah. So then you're moving always in sacred spaces. Yeah. Which we do, we just don't see it. So this blessing is not something reserved for the lamas or for the monks or nuns. We can bless each other, and we can bless the food we eat and the water we drink and the coffee we drink. So we bless it. Yeah.
So when you make an offering of something to eat on the altar, you can offer it to guests who come to your house as well.
After, yes.
Yes, after.
Yeah.
After a few days.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Or the same day.
Yeah.
Can I say something? I know it's really, maybe I've been holding it back. Because I have such problems with having a stupa there. Because I think it is a very beautiful statue, and and you see it right away when you take it off. The artist who made it, he made it in a certain way. and I really have problems with it. No, I'm very sorry, but it really, if you look at it now, it's a totally different thing. And it's so beautiful, the hands and the feet.
I wasn't sure who put it there, so I just left it there.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to say this, but this is...
No, it's very good.
It's good.
No, this kind of sensitivity, instead of holding it back, we need to use it.
Yes,
Because
it's
it's
so
true.
beautiful.
There is the artists. The artists who made this, this statue, someone bought it for us in Nepal. Yeah,
and you can see
they are in a tradition and family traditions of making these statues. You know,
And
they're
they know
just not
exactly.
making the statues. They know what they do,
and the
they follow.
proportions are important.
Yes, they follow the holy proportions. So it's.
Thank you. I felt really.
There's a statue, a stupid walk.
I thought so much if I should say it.
You should always.
But some people love it the other way. They have to say, like you were saying, showing generosity by doing this.
I think what we need to do is we need to be flexible with this. So, like with the shoe.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, you know.
So,
but I have
because
such
if you are the volunteer that evening,
I can change.
You can change it. So if you don't like, so some people don't like to have the flowers here, because it takes away the energy of the statue. So then you take the flower and you put it there.
Yeah, okay.
So and then the person who bought the flowers and comes in. Who put the flowers there? Then you take the flowers.
That's beautiful.
And you bring it back. Oh, my home. That's for the Buddha. So then both people have created merits. The person taking away the flowers. It's just if the person who originally put the flowers gets angry. That can happen.
That has happened. So I want to just say.
But that happens. Okay. But
why would a person get angry?
Because it's like, we have this idea, the way I do it is the right way, everyone has to agree with it.
They feel the same way as you do about stupid.
Yeah, I really, but I don't want to.
But now by talking about it in this way and also spreading it between the volunteers, then people will notice this in their own mind. Wow, I get angry if someone removes the flowers from the altar. Wow, this is like really strange. You know? Wow. So I'm feeling the same. Like if I teach, I'm not so much dependent on that. But if I notice something I don't like, then I remove it.
Yeah, of course.
Because I teach, and then if I don't like the flowers, then I just put them somewhere else.
This is good to know.
But I think it's really important to communicate with everyone, because people do make an effort, and then I know maybe they shouldn't get angry, but it has happened that volunteers get tied to how they took time and care, and then it's just important to also respect the care that people do put in here as volunteers.
Maybe it's also for the others to understand that it was also care for them who changed it. I think it's really more.
But I think it's a really nice conversation and a nice atmosphere, so everyone thinks that they can say their opinion. Like maybe the person then comes and says, "Oh, the reason I put the stupa there." It's a silly example, but with the shoe, I mean, because it's not just passersby. Like we all work together for years, so we need to also cultivate a space where all of our contributions are interkent. And also that we just give respect to the work people do, so we're not sort of taking away something that people do like to offer. So I think it's good to be really flexible, but I think it's also good to communicate.
So you wouldn't support putting away the flowers?
I would support making sure I knew it wasn't hurting the feelings of the person who put the flowers there. And in the case before, it was hurting the feelings. So I think that while that's kind of their problem, I think we're in a supportive Dharma environment, and I think that there's flexibility also with that.
How would you secure that?
Can I ask something?
Sorry.
How would you secure that it's not hurting people?
Because we're a part of the same volunteer family, and we talk to each other.
You would
we
maybe
listen
talk
to each
with
other.
the person?
No,
another possibility also would be you remove the flowers, and then in the end you put them back.
Yeah, or else you
Yeah.
bring it up at the next Sangha meeting,
Yeah.
like, I don't
Yeah.
think it's a good idea to have the flowers next to the Buddha because, and then
Yeah.
everyone agrees. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be complicated, I just think we're a group and it's important to understand that a lot of us come from different traditions with different teachers, and it's really nice to just make sure we're all, like what we're doing today, you know,
Yeah.
making sure we have kind of a standard that people just know, so we're not kind of having these seeds of discontent happening, because it does happen with
Yeah.
volunteers when
So
little things.
You think it would be helpful to have some like guidelines that
It could be, or just support, just like you do, support
Talking
open
about
communication
it.
at the
Yeah.
Sangha meeting. I don't
Yes.
think there needs to be guidelines.
Yeah.
I just think we could talk to each other.
Yes.
If someone's feeling hurt, that they then just say.
Yeah, I think that is
Yeah.
a good point. That those people who feel hurt by things like
Yeah.
that they say it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
think so
good.
too. Otherwise,
That
I
it is
don't
not,
know.
You know,
Yeah.
that it is not like, oh, I shouldn't feel hurt, you know,
No.
because
Yeah.
I should be free of that. But it can be hurtful if
Yeah.
you bought the flowers and you cut them and you put them, or you made a nice arrangement here, and then someone removes it.
Can I say
So
something?
to
And then
say-
it's
to-
stupid
to-
me that moved it and hurt someone's feelings, and it's
Yeah.
nice for me when people tell me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love getting that feedback.
Yeah.
For me, I don't care so much. It doesn't bother me if people move the stuff around too much, but at the same time, maybe there is something. So I like the open communication. I don't think
Mm.
guidelines, maybe, but.
Yeah.
But like it hurts me to have the stupa there. You see, it's the same thing. It could hurt somebody to have the flower there. So it's really it's an open space, really.
I agree.
So it's like, you know, like Stefan was saying, it's very important if you feel hurt that you say it, that
Yeah.
you are not standing there as a protector of it. You see what I'm saying? That
No. I don't see the difference, because I'm saying we talk about it
Yeah.
also.
yeah, okay, it's like, you know, that this happens, and it's natural. Somebody comes in, puts the flowers there, and no one takes it away. It's okay that somebody gets hurt. You know,
I
it's
agree
not-
in a way, but I think it's the way to start problems. I think if someone gets hurt and doesn't
But
say,
how do you know what people want and what
because they
people need?
communicate, they just say. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
that's
it
what
needs
I'm
to be
saying.
complicated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just that they say.
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't want to see, for example, then the stupa goes back up, and then you take it down, and it goes back up, and you take it down, and then it becomes this thing like, who keeps moving it? If no one talks about it, it's a silly example, but no one talks about it, and then it just becomes this thing, and it's
Yeah.
like it becomes so much bigger.
That's probably a good way to be with this, is
Yeah.
to bring it up in the Sangha meeting.
Yeah,
Even if it seems to be childish,
Yeah.
but it isn't.
Yeah. But like if you would like, I'm thinking about myself, and I thought I shouldn't mention this with the stupa, but I was feeling this. But at the same time, you look at this is a whole thing, and it's there, and it's made, and it's made for being what it is. So maybe sometimes one could also take that as a point.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
that's exactly what I would
Yeah.
recommend. People take these things at the
Yeah.
Sangha meeting, they say it, you make your
Yeah.
argument as an
Yeah.
artist,
Yeah.
and then everyone agrees.
It's not only an artist thing,
Or maybe they don't.
Or maybe
Yeah.
they
Or
don't.
If they don't agree.
Yeah,
If they
that's
don't
o-
agree.
that's okay,
Let's,
then I
let's
accept
agree
that.
that I can make
Yeah.
the final.
Yeah, Stefan always makes the final, thank you.
Yeah, we like that.
I can, so you empower me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is
So-
also accepting, you know, like I could accept it, you know, if somebody wants to have a stupid, I can accept it, but still it's hurting me, you know,
This
that's
is
okay.
exactly why it's great to work in
Yeah.
a Dharma center.
Yeah.
And I want to say, because these
Yeah.
things, working with what is acceptance and what
Yes.
is grants
Yeah.
overskrutna,
Yeah.
it's really where we
Yes.
work in daily life,
Yeah.
but it's wonderful to do it here
Yeah.
because we know everyone has good intentions.
Mhm.
And when we bring this up at the Sangha meeting,
Mhm.
people aren't going to be like, Radha, that's so stupid. They're going to say, oh,
Accept
I
it.
didn't think about it that
Yeah.
way, or I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was hurtful,
Yeah.
or it's a really supportive environment in
Yeah.
that way to work on what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
acceptance and what's actually not okay
Yeah.
with me and why.
Yeah.
And so I think it's good that
Well, I
we-
think also it's important to make it kind of a difference between the things that are really traditionally kind of normally how the balls are there.
Yeah.
You don't fill them half up, and that's
Yeah,
like,
right.
that's my way of
Yes.
doing it.
Yeah.
Because so that people know that these other things with the flowers
Yeah.
that's okay. You
It's
can
questionable.
go with your own way. Or,
Yeah.
and because the first time I ever did something here as a volunteer, there was somebody there kind of 5 minutes after kind of changing it. And I just thought, well, I wasn't hurt or anything. I was just, oh, I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
I really, you're not supposed to do it that way. And I think it's important to have, well, these things, that's not about wrong or right, but these things
Yes,
are about
yeah.
traditional kind of things and
Yeah.
kind of, just having this, the different things.
I think
Yeah.
it's another opportunity for really skillful means is now us that work here a lot and now we've received this teaching to know when's the right time to tell someone, when are they open to hearing that, and when is it kind of just really nice to appreciate their effort. You know, because there's a certain amount that's that. It's really beautiful to see so many people that want to give here and, you know, maybe they don't necessarily do the water bowls the way, you know, my teacher taught me or we just, but maybe that's like, you know what I mean? I think it's also another good place to work in terms of skillful means because it's a fine line where, you know, you said doing the full length prostration, please don't. We lose people. Well, there's nothing wrong with the practice. It's, you know, we live in Denmark and we try to be really welcoming, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, I've noticed that sometimes people, you know, they don't know about these water bowl offerings, and they just do it, you know, and they just follow their instinct, and most of the time I don't say I don't correct them. I just leave them, and then I use opportunities like this to teach. Yeah. So I think that's a little bit what you mean. It's like flexibility in this. Yeah. Without disregarding the tradition. So it's
I
a
have a
work in
totally
progress.
different question.
Yeah, yes.
When you put the offerings there, do you do any ritual or say anything?
You can, with the offerings, you can also say Oma Hom, Oma Hom, Oma Hom.
Okay.
Yeah? When you put flowers, when you put food, you bless it with Oma Hom. And then the emptying is you take the bucket and then you empty them from this side. Yeah, you so empty them, and you can put them upside down, and then, or you dry them immediately. So that's a possibility. You dry them immediately, and then you put them like this. And then the water would be good if we could put it in a garden or something, but we don't have a garden, so we pour it in the bathroom into the sink. Yeah. And
put it in the kettle.
Or in the kettle, yeah, yeah, yeah.
How long do you leave it in?
This is supposed to be removed every day.
So you leave them for a day?
Yeah. So here we do it before the teachings, and we empty it after the teachings.
Okay.
So it's for a few hours.
So
or sometimes if I do something here in the morning, then I fill them in the morning, and someone else empty it in the evening.
And if we do it at home?
Or the same. You fill it in the morning, you empty it in the evening. Okay. So let's sit down a few minutes and then close. like we started in the morning, just sitting with a sense of joy that we have spent this morning together, starting to explore. Now at the end, maybe it's even more, it's easier to just be and relax into the present moment. And relax into that positive energy we have created by being together this morning. And this positive energy we have created, we imagine how it spreads, how it fills this room, and how it touches all the people who work here and who come here and who hear about this place. So that it creates harmony and creativity and healing. Just resting in this experience of stillness. So thank you very much for coming and also for your inspiration to help this place. So it's fantastic that we can do this together. And see you around.
Mhm.